I can't imagine 1865. I can't imagine being a slave, but I can imagine being a slave and becoming free as to what that means to me. And so as I was sitting there thinking about that, I was thinking about the song that we sing sometimes. Every round goes higher and higher, and down through the years, that's what has happened to us as a people. We have went higher and higher. Um, well, as you know, my name is Patricia Walker. My parents is Roy and Molly Hawkins. My father, Roy Hawkins, was born June 20th, 1908. His father's name were Matthew Hawkins. He was born in 1858 in Haywood County, Tennessee. His mom's name was Mamie Rice. She was born on December 10th in 1876. My father was the eighth child of 12 children by Matthew Hawkins and Mamie Hawkins. Matthew was married once before he married my grandmother, Mamie. My mother's name is Molly Smith. She was born on November 2nd, 1915. Her parents, George Smith, her father was born October 15th, 1989, in Van Barter, East Arkansas. He was the fourth child of 9 children. Her mother was Bertha Ely, and she was born June 17, 1894, in Faulkner County, Arkansas. My mother, Molly Smith, was the oldest of 9 siblings. They are all deceased except the youngest one, Loevis Walker. My mom and dad, Molly and Roy Hawkins. I am from a blended family. My dad was a widow at an early age, and he was married to Mayu Morris. She was born in 1909. She died between the years of 1936 to 1940. They had 3 children, Almeda, Eldred, and Alfreda. Alfreda is still living in Tulsa, Oklahoma. My mom, Molly Hawkins, was married to A.B. Roosevelt Flood, and they divorced. They had 4 children, Betty, Eva, Rutha, and Avon Flood. Rutha Floyd Morris is still living. Molly and Roy meets and marries, and they had 3 children, Palestine, Marzetta, I, Patricia, the youngest of the brothers and sisters. I want to read you an insert from the book, and it was that Dr. Edwin Thomas had an interview with them. Roy Hawkins and his wife of Zion Grove talked about a black Masonic lodge for men and Eastern Star chapter for women. In the area, some of their kin and acquaintances, including church leaders, were active in those organizations. Early parents were strict on their own children and on others. Sunday was a sacred time for frivolous activities. There were no games played on Sunday. There were no dances, no parties, except in perhaps one of a dozen black communities could visit his romance was restricted and courtship was awkward. Girls were chaperoned. A man could visit his sweetheart in her home, where rooms were few and small, and many families were large. The boys and girls met at church services, school, baseball games, 4th of July picnics, singing unions, and on Decoration Day, May 30th. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about their interview. Yes, my parents were very strict. You had to go to church every Sunday. That was a given. As far as having a boyfriend, the rule was you could not have a boyfriend come and visit until you were 15 years old. And as this paragraph say, the rooms were small and the parents was listening. And at that time we had wood stoves, and if things got too quiet, the parent would come in and stir in the fire to make sure that everything was going okay, I'm sure. Yes, how we met our boyfriends was at church, at the singing union, and at school. But at church, when they would have the church unions, well, the young people would go inside with their parents and get them settled, and then we would get up and go back outside so we could see the boys. And, it was fun. And we watched for our parents, because if we saw one coming out, mostly the fathers, we knew to skedaddle so they couldn't find us. About the church, having the meals out on the church grounds, you all just can't imagine what that was, but it was so much fun. They would take the benches from inside the church, and they put 2 benches together by the shade, and they would put the food on there. Cakes, pies, chicken and dressing, fried chicken, greens, cornbread, whatever you wanted was there. And us as children always had favorite boxes that we would go to. And that was our fun. And we couldn't dance. And that was one thing I missed when I was growing up, because I like activities. So I always, would like to dance. And I remember that song coming out, "Come on, baby, let's do the twist." Well, everybody learned how to do the twist, so that we got to sneak and do that. I remember we couldn't read the romance books. Do anybody remember those books? And we would sneak and buy one of the books, and read it, and put it under the mattress so our parents couldn't find it. Picking cotton. Oh my, those were the days. Each 100 pounds were $3, and that was hard. But down through the years, we had school. But here in Solomon Grove, it was broken up. It was you had summer school, so that you wouldn't miss anything. So you couldn't start back to school until October. And that was because you had to get all the cotton picked before it got too cold. Well, I don't remember the year, but there was a law that was passed that parents could not keep their children out of school. I don't know if anybody remember that, but
Yeah.
they couldn't keep them out of school. And if they did, they got a fine. I was happy because we didn't have to pick cotton, so that was a good thing for me. Um, my father was a farmer. He started out with cotton, which I was too young to remember, but I do remember the cucumbers.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, oh boy, did we pick the cucumbers. And Gracetown, where they graded the cucumbers, they had a contest going, and there's Brother James Walker that lives in Holly Spring. Well, he had lots of kids, and he had lots of cucumbers. So the contest was whoever sold the most cucumbers would win a prize. Well, guess who won the prize? Roy Hawkins. So he had so many that if we couldn't pick them all, he had hired hands that would come in and we would pick those cucumbers. He told us that he would always tell us about this story. He dipped snuff. And he would tell us about the story that he was out in the pen where the cows were, and then there was this big bull. So this big bull was going to start charging at him. So he didn't know what to do because he thought the bull was going to catch him. So he ran up to the fence, got on the fence, and spit that snuff in that bull's eye. So that's how he got saved that day from that. And he sold watermelons. He would bring the watermelons to Conway. And one of us had to go with him because he wasn't good at counting money. So that was the way he would give back the correct change. But let me tell you, he might not could have given you any change, but he knew how much money he should have made at the end of the day. So if he was short, he started thinking about, what happened. Yeah. My mom, she was like more of an indoor person. She was a great cook. She was a great seamstress. She raised the best garden, and she shared it with everyone. And I had left home, but she used to babysit also. I'm sure somebody in here probably had her as babysitter. The question was, what was the question was what was the first question?
No, you covered the excerpts from the book.
Oh, okay.
You covered it.
Okay, and so let me, at the end of this, my father's favorite song was, somebody said it back there, Do You Know the Man? His favorite scripture was Psalms 37. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is my stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? And today I think this is a good scripture we should live by each and every day. Thank you.